to traveling, we asked each of the organizations we were planning on doing service with what were some items that they would be able to use. Because we knew that we could accumulate donations here and we could find used clothing, but we really wanted to get the sizes of the children and find out specific needs of each organization.
Yes.
And it came up time and time again. Everywhere we went needed technology. They needed computers, they needed office supplies, they needed things to help them run more efficiently so they could become sustainable and productive on their own.
Well, the objective of the trip was to provide service mainly to youth. That's what Optimist Clubs focus on. And so we conducted 4 service projects while in Ecuador. The first was for his children orphanage in Quito. The second was at the Yachana Lodge and the Yachana Technical High School in the Amazon or the jungle. The third was at the Rio Machacho Organic Farm and school connected with Rio Machacho. And the fourth was 2 Aganar programs which focus on teenage youth and youth that are at risk.
We were all expecting to go to like an orphanage that had like nothing, but the orphanage that we went to, it was like really well kept. Like they had, they called them like tias that would like keep track of like all the different age groups.
The orphanage was quite early on in our adventures in Ecuador, and it was in the capital city of Quito. And we've heard from Kim and Sarah about orphanages that the Student Optimist Club has visited in the past. And they've been pretty heartbreaking stories of children living in filth and poverty and just horrible living circumstances. But the one that we visited was actually incredibly well run. It's run completely off of donations from the United States, mainly. Obviously other countries play into there too. They do have several staff members who are obviously paid, and very clean facilities. The children are well cared for. Jen, who is the manager, I would say her title would be, told us how most of these children are actually able to be adopted within the year, which really says something for their efforts as an organization. We started with 4 main service projects, one of which was going to the Yachana Lodge, where we served at the Yachana Technical High School. And as with many of the other locations that we visited along our way, we were able to bring several suitcases of donations there. And one of these included a bag of maps. We're talking the really big size maps you have in a classroom. And so through working in the UC, we were able to work with some professors to find these maps over in Upham Hall and cart them all the way to the Amazon. But I must say that once we got them there, it was definitely worth it to see their faces, because this would be so instrumental in helping them learn about the regions that these children probably would never have the chance to visit, because some of their families are so poor that they could not even afford a bus ticket to send them home over a holiday.
So the UW-Whitewater Student Optimist Club was formed in 1994. They've been in existence for 17 years now and have planned 8 service trips in that 17 years of existence. What is unique about the Student Optimist Club is that they were the first adult Student Optimist Club to be formed on the college campus in the world. That's a mouthful, but it really says a lot about our students and their willingness to serve youth and the fact that they've been around for so long and have continued to plan programs both locally and traveling internationally to learn with and to learn from working with youth. The students that join the Optimist Club typically have a philosophy of optimism and a positive outlook on life. And they are very much hands-on and like to roll up their sleeves and get involved and get dirty at times and coordinate many different projects within our community. But the primary focus is on working with children.
Me gusta. Gracias. Gracias. Gracias.
Okay, here we go. Uno,
Dos,
tres.
Optimist Club.
One more time. Uno, dos, tres.
Optimist Club.
What we were able to do is through our group's fundraising efforts, we had a shopping trip where we were able to purchase supplies that we believe would be needed here. We bought some educational supplies for the school, some secondhand clothing, things that we were able to find that we were able to purchase or able to find in our communities that we thought you guys could maybe use here. And we've heard that a laptop is one of those things that would be extremely helpful for your mission, your efforts, and we would like you to be able to have this.
Wow, muchas gracias.
De nada.
Muchas gracias. Qué buena.
Me
Me siento feliz de haber estado este poco tiempo con ustedes.
He's happy to have spent this little time with us.
Es oro, es súper valioso porque tengo la oportunidad de alimentarme con sensaciones. Esa es la mejor comida para el espíritu.
The best food for the spirit.
Así es que muchas gracias y me siento feliz de compartir este tiempo con ustedes profundamente. Piggy's excited.
Hi, Piggy. Hi. Hi, Piggy. Hi.
Like ready for the hard work?
Good morning. Can I have my shovel? Please don't take my feet.
Morning. Buenos dias. Yummy.
You're okay. Look it. Look it, little piggy. It's okay. Hi. I have a baby piggy.
It was interesting, smelly, heavy. It was a good time though. I'm glad I didn't eat breakfast yet.
We're not eating breakfast.
When we first pulled up on the bus, there weren't a lot of people there. Well, we walked in right away and they gathered us up for a group to make us more comfortable and at home.
Muy buenas tardes con todos. Ya me presentando, mi nombre es Nelson y mi idioma Zapi. Entonces yo le estuve guiándole, ¿no? Bueno, creo que...
They did their introductions in their spiritual attire that they had. The men wore navy blue and striped with white. It was almost like a skirt. And they had like a scarf that was very colorful. The colors were very significant in their spiritual beliefs and with the evil spirits and the good spirits and protecting them. We got to see really closely the achote plant that they had, and this is the plant that they used for the hair coloring on the men. And when they would use it, and you could see him, he squished it up real small and he put it in his hair, and it's almost a very permanent thing for them. But the plant is just, it's a very interesting and intricate thing, and they use it for makeup as well. last they went around and we all got to use it as like a face paint to protect us from the evil spirits as we walk through their land. After that, then we've got to go into a cleansing ceremony that they do there. And with the cleansing ceremony, they use a lot of rocks and oils and herbal leaves and things to kind of set the mood and get you feeling for what the ceremony is about.
Más que todo un poco de concentración y el respeto, porque dentro de esto es para nosotros es como un lugar sagrado, ¿no? Donde se va a hacer mucha concentración.
At first, I was nervous because I didn't know what he was gonna do.
Este tipo parece una serpiente dentro de eso y en medio existe como en forma de un ojo.
And it was hard to let myself concentrate. But I did, and it felt refreshing almost when he like spit the stuff on me, the medicines and stuff, because when it touched her skin it was like cold and hot at the same time, like icy hot kind of. I think there were multiple different things that he put on me. Of course, my eyes were closed, so I don't know how many different things he put on me, but it smelled like some medicines that I've smelled from my mom, like when I was younger, that she's used on me, or like herbs and all different things. It was very relaxing once I got used to it. I was trying at first to figure out what he was doing and what the sounds were actually coming from, but then I just let myself relax and just enjoy it. And when he did, I think it was like a dinging from some kind of thing, I felt like I was in a dream at that point. I was very relaxed.
The Aganar is a sports leadership program that helps teach children the goals of running a business, like employability skills, these types of things, but it's through the lens of sports and through the lens of having a good time and enjoying your life. So it's not just like coming to school to learn from a textbook.
Bienvenidos, mi nombre es José. Mucho gusto de recibirlos aquí en Pedro Vicente. Espero que
and what we were able to do with them, we met with two different groups. The one I would say was considerably wealthier than the other, and that was the first group we went to. They had a classroom filled with computers that they were able to use, and they were right in the inner city, and they had many resources available to them. And even still, these students had lots of hope for their futures because they had all these new resources. And they knew that they were on the pathway to successful lives, and that being part of Aganar was something that was really important to them. And the second organization that we went to, the second Aganar program, was much poorer. And as Janet, our tour guide, stated, this is probably one of the poorest regions that she'd been to in Ecuador. For this organization, we also had the opportunity to donate dance costumes. And that's because this Aganar group has a dance program that goes around to different locations throughout Ecuador and performs. But because of their lack of funding and lack of a lot of supplies, they did not have the costumes or really the means to perform so they could make money for their group. And we were really fortunate to be able to help them out with that. And they actually performed a very special premiere performance for us, and it was called the Dance of Hope. I think we could all see the hope right from the beginning. They were incredibly happy to have us there, and we were incredibly happy to be there.
In a conversation when I returned from Ecuador with our tour director and Kim Adams, we were talking about hope. Basically, we were talking about the lack of hope in Ecuador, namely that there was a political and economic structure in place that didn't allow people to move out of the life that they were born into. And it occurred to me retrospectively that as we traveled the countryside of Ecuador, we were taken to all of these pockets of hope, whether it was teaching life skills for the tourism trade in the Aganar program, or the Sachila community, where there was a group of people trying to preserve their culture and history as a people, or the Rio Muchacho Organic Farm, where they were working on reduction of waste and using really every bit of material to the good of the environment. We were taken every place that hope lives, and for me, what was important about that was the juxtaposition about traveling to Ecuador with a group of student optimists who are about creating hope and optimism in the world.
May I suggest to you, may I suggest this is the best part of your life. May I suggest this time is blessed for you. This time is blessed and shining almost blinding bright. Just turn your head and you'll begin to see the 1,000 reasons that were just beyond your sight. The reasons why I suggest to you, why I suggest this is the best part of your life. There is a world that's been addressed to you, intended only for your eyes. A secret world, a treasure chest to you, of private scenes and brilliant dreams that mesmerize. A tender lover's smile, a tiny baby's hands, the million stars that fill the turning sky at night. Oh, I suggest, yes, I suggest to you, yes, I suggest this is the best part of your life. There is a hope that's been expressed in you, the hope of 7 generations, maybe more. This is the faith that they invest in you. It's that you'll do one better than was done before. Inside you know, and inside you understand. Inside you know what's yours to finally set right. And I suggest to you, and I suggest this is the best part of your life. This is a song, comes from the west to you, comes from the west, comes from the slowly setting sun. This is a song with a request of you to see how very short the endless days will run. And when they're gone, and when the dark descends, we'd give anything for one more hour of light. May I suggest, this is the best part of your life.